Welcome, everybody, to the Tea with Ms McGill Show, episode number 44. It is Puka. It is Reed Larson. It is another hockey season. We're starting year 3 here. Reed was feeling under the weather. We didn't get the preseason episode in like we had wanted, but welcome, Reed. Good to be back.
Oh, absolutely. Fun to be back. And again, last week, a little under the weather, still kind of battling the throat stuff. So if I cough or clear my throat or sound a little gruff, I'm not usually sounding like this tough, but it's still it's in that portion of the season right now for all of you hockey fans that are out there. If you're a kid, if you're a parent, the crud is going around, and it's not just the COVID that's going around. There's other stuff that's going around, like the RSV, and all the colds, this and that, and it's important for you young kids that are playing right now to take care of yourself, to take care of your immune system, get good sleep, 8 to 9 hours a night, eat right, take care of your stress level. So
wear one of these caps. Wear an ODR cap because it's cold out right now. That wind is whistling. Yeah, it is feeling like December 1st.
But let's keep those immune systems strong so that we can be at the best that we can possibly be at. But awesome to be back.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so we're talking about the calendar a little bit. So it is the holiday, so it is the time for food. So it is a time for you to visit the Ring Sports Bar and Grill over in Evelyn. Be watching out at the holidays. They usually do the gift card special. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's like, pay $45, get a $50 gift card, something like that, or buy a $20 gift card. You pay 20, get 25, something like that. So that will be coming, but your place to eat over in the Quad Cities, Ring Sports Bar and Grill. Michelle took good care of you. Daily lunch specials, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So that's the place to be, just down from the Hockey Hall of Fame, as we've talked about before. So, but like I said, as soon as we get some news on the gift cards, we will bring it to you right here. All right, so we're going to dive right in. Hockey action is already going on. Last week, you were on the bench. I was in the grandstands over at the Memorial Building, Hibbing. Classic old matchup, Grand Rapids Hibbing, turned out to be a real barn burner. Yeah,
and an old school Iron Range rivalry. And back in the old days, we'd be saying 2 Iron Range conference teams. And ironically enough, neither one of those teams are in the Iron Range conference anymore. Both teams now part of the Lake Superior Conference, which whoop-de-doo, not very many people are really into the conference stuff anymore. Most places are, unless you're in the metro, the conferences up north are really kind of becoming sparse. But at any rate, still a half an hour drive away for each team. And what a great game. It was fun. It's one of the best rinks that you can possibly go to in the state of Minnesota. I'm biased to the IRA Civic Center because I grew up in Grand Rapids, but you grew up in Hibbing Chisholm area and grew up with the Memorial Building. You can't think of a better barn in the state of Minnesota. Awesome place to play, but a good atmosphere, decent crowd for a Hibbing Grand Rapids game. Not fantastic. It's not the old school 3,000 in the 3,000 in the stands, but still a good game and a really good effort by both teams.
Yeah, I agree. So Rapids ended up squeaking out with a 3-1 with an empty net goal. Sounds kind of like, so I had to listen to the radio for the first couple periods, but sounds like Rapids, you guys kind of poured it to them in the first. Hibbing might have gotten a little bit better view in the second.
Yeah. I think it was just kind of getting people getting their legs underneath them. I think it was, we got it going. We kind of woke up the Blue Jackets a little bit in the second period. Our guys were a little bit shell shocked by, okay, they're coming at you. Rapids kind of got a little beat down there in the second period from Hibbing, and then it was right back at her for a nice clean battle in the third period, and Rapids kind of took the cake there in the third period. There was a lot of shots on net, but if I'm looking at the guys that I really thought were difference makers there for Hibbing Chisholm, you got Fawcett, who's a new guy to town there, Wolf Ryder, who's one of their top guys, and of course I think the best player in the building that night. And I'm a little bit, again, I'm standing on the bench for Grand Rapids coaching and looking at the players over there, and the one who really stood out for Hibbing Chisholm was goalie Braden Boyer. Yep. Braden was unbelievable. He made it look easy at times. Sometimes the Rapids guys are making it look easy too by firing it right at the guy. But at any rate, I don't care if you're shooting right at him or not. He's got to stop the puck, and he did a really good job of stopping the puck in a really important game. That score could very easily have been a little bit different had he not come up with a couple of big saves. But let's not take that away from the effort that Coach Rewerts got out of his Blue Jackets that night. They were tough. They played hard. They played gritty, a bounce here or there, and you just never know how that game could have went.
Yeah, and who stuck out for me for Grand Rapids, obviously last year's team, that team, the reputation on that team was all defense, right? You had that great defensive core. But the two guys I thought were back on defense was Bo Frieder and Luka Roloff, who obviously played his first. I actually sat with his dad for just a little bit, but both of those two I thought really stood out to me. Had great games, and then, like I said, came down to the end there. And then
The Bull Rider stuck out for you for Hibbing, and who stuck out for you for Rapids?
Oh, who did it?
You said Bull Friday.
Oh, I use
Bauer
that
Murphy.
name. Bauer Murphy. I'm saying,
Yeah. I'm going to correct you.
slip. I am
Yeah.
so sorry. So
Yeah. So Bauer Murphy
and Luka Roloff were the two that stood out for me for Grand Rapids.
No, absolutely. And I can't disagree. I'm allowing Puka to talk a little bit about some of my players because it's easy for me to sit and talk about these players. I see them every single day, but nice to get an outside point of view from someone who's on the outside looking in and watching these players. And I don't disagree with you at all. I thought they were good.
All right. Good stuff right there. Move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Hit the like button right now. We appreciate that. Iron Range Apparel. It is the holidays. Time to get the holiday shopping done. You got the list. Many of you just got back for the hunting shack. You're with the guys. Time to get them a gift. Head over to Iron Range Apparel, Thunderbird Mall, ODR swag. They got the total ODR line. Got, caps, baseball caps, jerseys, sweatshirts, t-shirts, the whole gamut. I've always called it the gift buyer's paradise. There's plenty of other gifts there for men, women, boys, girls, kids, everything. Minnesota themes. I mean, anything you want Minnesota themed, you can find it there at Iron Range Apparel. So stop over at the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia.
Love it. So we were talking last week, the first portion we're talking about, that's the home opener for the season, that Wednesday game. We were talking about Hibbing Grand Rapids. That was on the very first possible day that the Minnesota State High School League could have high school games. Now we're almost a week later. Well, it is a week later today, but that we had a game here, a game last night. Most teams in the state were playing last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of scores that were really big throughout the course of the state. We'll talk about here a couple games that were really big. Last night was a huge section game at the RA Civic Center with Grand Rapids and Duluth East. That's a huge section game. It's a big rival game. Goes back a long ways. Two teams that have dominated Section 7 AA for a long time. Of course, Coach Patosha in his second year for the Duluth East Greyhounds, Coach Chido in his fourth year at the helm in Grand Rapids. In front of a pretty decent crowd. And again, I got the best seat in the house right there on the bench next to Coach Chido. Got a chance to watch that game, and a decent crowd. Yeah. I can't put a number in my head right now because 1,000 or 1,500 maybe in the building that, on a good night, you could see 2,500 in there. Yeah. But a decent crowd, but really good energy. It was a close hockey game throughout the entire game. It was gritty. It was tough, but a W came out on the Thunderhawk side of things. Duluth East was battling through the end, but probably player of the game for just about anybody that was in the building was Miles Gunderson, for sure, between the pipes. Big win for the Thunderhawks. And believe me, the next time that these two teams meet, Duluth East is going to have they're gonna have their ducks in a row. They're gonna want to figure out a way to get back at the Thunderhawks and try to do that. So big game there. You saw some other scores throughout.
I was online watching Rock Ridge playing their first game of the year versus Greenway over in Virginia. Now last year they played over in Greenway. I think it was the first ever game for Rock Ridge at that point. And I just remember it was great being over at the Snake Pit. First game I had seen, because remember the previous year was the COVID year, right? Yeah. So the 2021, mask, couldn't go to game. Remember, parents are only allowed, so it was just good to be back in the building. And I thought that was a pretty hard hitting game. Last night's game was at least equally as hard hitting. Some big hits thrown, no love lost between these two programs. Of course, the new building over there was great. Some of the names that stood out: Mannanen, Troutwine, Vekic with 2 goals as a junior, and ended up being a 4-2 Rock Ridge win. But shots were pretty close, 31-25 in Rock Ridge's favor. But good atmosphere. I couldn't really tell at the crowd. It was no announcer, so it was just one of those cameras that never panned really over. But there was some noise in the building, like I said, especially for some of the big hits. But the building looked great, and like I said, good Iron Range matchup. I think that a little bit of the depth of Rock Ridge is kind of what was the difference.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I'm still really good friends with coaches in the Greenway, or coaches in the Virginia area there with the Rock Ridge Wolverines. Ryan Colby's still a good friend of mine. Ben Johnson, new head coach there, Evan Friedlieb, Casey Myrie, all those guys are good friends of mine still. It's still got a little piece of Virginia in my heart here.
That's right.
But I can see where there's no love lost between Greenway and Rock Ridge, because Greenway is like, hey, we're the green team in the range. You're taking our colors. You guys are supposed to be blue or black and gold. What do you do? Okay, so there's probably a little love lost there, or none, you should say. But I did look at the score sheet from that. And one thing I thought on that score sheet that was pretty cool is goaltender for Rock Ridge, Ursula got an assist. I always look at that like, that's pretty cool. But maybe that was a save that he made and puck got stretched out from a defenseman breakaway goal, or maybe he actually made a pass up the ice. But I thought it was pretty cool. First game of the year for Rock Ridge, and now the goaltender's got an apple already on the score sheet. That's pretty awesome.
Well, and that's great. Like I said, I didn't know all the names because like I said, there was no announcer, it was just a camera. So unless you caught the, and I wasn't fast forwarding and rewinding all that, I just didn't have time, because I was popping over to the Cloquet game or Cloquet Hibbing game every once in a while, and the Rapids East game. So I didn't know that. So awesome. Right. Yeah. Congratulations.
Well, in both of these teams, Puka, Rock Ridge and Greenway, both very, very well respected coaches on those teams, well coached hockey teams. Ben Johnson is a great coach. Andy Surdich is a great coach. They got great supporting cast of guys that are on their bench helping them out, with Adam Johnson, helping out with Andy Surdich, as well as Ryan Colby and Evan Friedlieb and Casey Myrie helping out with Ben Johnson. These guys are excellent coaches. These programs are both very lucky to have them.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Those two. Okay. Aspire Heating and Control out of Grand Rapids, your official Bryant dealer up here in the Northland, and Bryant is the official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild. So these guys specialize in gas, electric, and hydronic heating and cooling systems for existing and new construction, residential and commercial installations available. These services include forced air systems, boilers, heat pumps, mini splits. They are licensed and bonded. Call Justin. He's a hockey guy. He's got a guy in the Rapids program, Squirt A. Call Justin, 218-999-5957. All right. So like I said, I caught some of that Cloquet Hibbing game last night at the Memorial Building as we were talking in kind of the pre-chat. I can't remember the last time Hibbing has beat Cloquet. They pulled it off 2-1 in overtime. Fawcett with a goal, who you earlier mentioned. Bo Frater with the game winner, who you earlier mentioned. Shea Walters, Hibbing guy, coaching Cloquet. So a real big win, a double-A win, obviously, for Hibbing. Big win for the program. But like I said, it's been many, many years since, I think it was the Prunovich year, the last time they might have beat Cloquet.
Yeah, I can't be 100% positive on when that actually happened, but if you're saying that it could have been 2015 or 2016, that wouldn't surprise me. I can think back to, it was always a battle. If it was Hibbing versus Cloquet, if it was Virginia versus Cloquet, it was always a battle, but it was always a struggle for the range teams to take down that Cloquet Esco Carleton program, because since they've combined with Esco Carleton for years, have been a lot stronger in the AA program and playing the single A teams like Virginia back in the day and Hibbing back in the day. And it's been I can't remember how many times when I was a coach at Virginia, how many times we were able to knock down Cloquet. Maybe once or twice in my time that we're there. And I can think of one time in particular in 2014 we did, but I can't remember too many other times that happened. So when you're a range team, you're a single A team like that, teams that are small, Hibbing Chisholm is a program that's considered small that has to grind out to make sure they field a couple of teams. Very rarely are they making cuts because they don't have a lot of guys. Same thing that, back with Virginia back in the day. Now, of course, Rock Ridge coming in with the two programs, combining with Evelyn Gilbert, and I'm sure they had to make cuts. They've got kids coming out of their ears now. So that makes a couple of different things going on there. But Hibbing Chisholm, it's probably been a while. I'd say you're probably accurate when you say maybe 2015 or 2016, back when Prunovich was playing.
Yeah. So big win for the program there. Pretty cool. All right. So that kind of wraps our games for the week. You want to do a little quick preview for the weekend here? Yeah,
just some area games that I know that are on the docket here right now. There will be one tomorrow night at the IRA Civic Center section game. Duluth Marshall comes to town. There's no JV game that night. Duluth Marshall's a little low on numbers. So they'll be coming with a varsity only game. And then another big section game on Saturday at the IRA Civic Center with Forest Lake coming to town. So Thunder Hawks with 3 games in 6 days. That's tough. And then boom, weekend and coming back to a game on Tuesday over in Proctor. So lots of games in a short period of time, but some big games to boot. And we can call it a big game or not, but they're all big games, right? They should be fun for people, but some of these section games some of them are must-win games. Right?
Yeah.
So lots of area games to take a peek at around here. There's definitely area games on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. If somebody had the audacity to pull up a couple of different streaming services that are out there, you probably find a couple of pretty darn good games.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go over some scores and more from the week that was. So I saw a headline: the Bemidji girls last week were on the road up to Roseau. They beat Roseau 3-1 to snap a 34-game losing streak to the Rams. So congratulations to the Lumberjack ladies. I wanted to give a shout out to Gavin Forrest. Scored his first ever high school hockey goal in his first ever game on a backhand from half ice that fluttered in to an empty net. Those are a lot of things for your first goal to remember.
I love it. It's fantastic. And I can be as biased as I want because Gavin has played for me now for my 3rd year in a row. And so there's no one more deserving. Right, kid works his butt off.
Totally. Yeah.
Just fun to watch.
Yeah, I ran into his dad after. I saw the goal and just didn't think of all those different parts. Like, yeah, he did. He got it from the red line. He got it fluttered in
on his backhand.
On a backhand. So congratulations, very memorable first ever high school hockey goal. So I Falls dropped a game to Denfeld last night, 7-1. Warroad shut out St. Cloud over the weekend. St. Cloud Cathedral 4-0. Warroad's power play is already running at 37%. We'll keep an eye on that during the year. Ely dropped one to Kitson 7-2. Rosa skated by Thief River last night 7-0. And real quick, the Walleye Scott Edina update: the Hornets lost to Holy Catholic 3-2.
Oh my gosh! Is the world coming to an end?
The cake
in
eaters.
Edina. Does Kurt Giles have to battle for his job right now? He's 0-3. Does he have to battle? Is he 0-3 for the year? Does he have to battle for his job? No, there's one other big game in the area too that we skipped by. Bemidji played Moorhead to an overtime game.
Oh,
Moorhead ended up coming, I believe, on the good side of that. But that is a big feather in the cap. Bemidji is tough right now. They're tough, and they're playing against a very, very talented Moorhead team. I believe I saw that as somebody has in the notes. Like, you're wrong. This is just something that's coming to my head right now. Like I didn't research that. I just remember looking at a score.
Okay.
So if I'm wrong, correct me in the notes or correct me in the tweet or whatever you see it on. But I feel like that 2-1 overtime, something like that, with Moorhead taking the cake over Bemidji. But that's a big feather in the cap of Bemidji.
Yeah, congratulations to the boys there. All right. That's it. Episode 44. We will be back next week and every week now that high school season is up and running. So like I said, comment if there's anything. If we got something wrong, comment. Throw your comments in, throw your congratulatory comments in, or if you got someone who's got their first ever high school goal, make sure you mention that. We'd like that. Hammer the subscribe button. If you need to contact us, Goat Sports Media LLC@gmail.com. If you dig the show, share it out. We have merch. Like I said, holidays are coming. We missed last week's show, so we missed Cyber Monday. We missed Black Friday. 10% off by this time next week when we post next week's show. If you put an order in, 10% off. We have, all the different shirt sizes, just like this one here, Tea with Ms McGill. Venmo, PayPal, Square, Square's Cash App, Venmo, all that good stuff. So just email. Like I said,
it is pretty cool, by the way. There are a few kids, thanks to Puka, that are roaming around Grand Rapids High School wearing this. Hey, you see me, I'm wearing the Tea with Ms McGill shirt. Yes, you are. And you are the coolest kid in school right now, by far.
All the girls. So, like I said, Goat Sports Media LLC @gmail.com. Get it. We can arrange shipping or pickup. That'd be pretty easy. Thanks to all of our partners: Ring Sports Bar and Grill, Iron Range Apparel, ODR Swag, Aspire Heating and Cooling, Iron Range Goalie Academy, Tea with Ms McGill on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. To pick us up on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, check out Goat Sports Media LLC. For Reed Larson, I am Puka. Get out there and be your dream. You're tuned to the Tea with Ms McGill Show.